Welcome to episode 135 of the Forward from 50 podcast, where we interview people over 50 pursuing new direction for their lives. It's an opportunity for men and women to tell their stories, their way, and in their own words. I'm Greg Gerber, the founder of Forward from 50, and your host for today's show. Today's guest is Susan Powers, a woman whose journey after 50 is inspiring and deeply relatable to many people. In our conversation, Susan described how the decade leading up to her milestone birthday was marked by personal loss, the end of an abusive marriage, and overwhelming stress from her career. By the time she turned 50, Susan knew something had to change. Fortunately, with the support of her new husband, she retired early from her work with the state of California in order to focus on healing and to start a new path to give her life meaning and purpose. What followed was a new season of discovery for her. Susan explored her love of writing and teaching about leadership as well as coaching skills through Landmark Training. Eventually, she launched her new career as an author and transformational coach. She learned that purpose often emerges when we allow ourselves to rest, to heal, and rediscover who we really are. My key takeaways from Susan's story include, number 1, the importance of listening to your body and recognizing when stress is taking a toll. Number 2, how healing seasons are not wasted time, but rather preparation for new beginnings. Number 3, the power of storytelling and legacy as a way to strengthen families across generations. And finally, a reminder that it is never too late to uncover hidden gifts and to pursue meaningful work. To tell us more about her life really changed after turning 50 and what she is doing today that fires her up, please welcome Susan Powers to the show. Thanks for joining me today, Susan. I really appreciate the time. I understand you had a pivotal moment around turning 50 that altered the direction of your life. Tell us about it.
Thank you first for having me, Greg. I really appreciate it. To get to know me a little bit, I have to go back to a pivotal time period. And it was about 10 years before I turned 50 that led me down the path I was going to after 50. And about 1998 to about 2008 is when everything just kind of, I don't know if you know the story of Job.
Very well.
I feel like that was me, minus all the diseases and stuff, but the loss. I had lost quite a few people in my life due to cancer and other things. Leading up to that time period, I had left a 20-year marriage. It was abusive. It was not a good marriage. And that resulted in bankruptcy and splitting the family up. The kids moved out, and it was a really dark period of time. And after that, because of all the losses and the things that were going on, I was trying to just survive. And then when in 2008, I met my best friend, which is my husband now, Joe. And in 2008, I met him, and things started to shift and turn around. He was looking for a roommate. We were friends first, but he was looking for a roommate, and I was looking for a room to rent. And I moved in here as friends, and it started to turn a lot of things around. Like I said, Joe was a good example of what a good man was, and I didn't have that example. And we ended up falling in love and getting married in 2011, but it was 2010 when I turned 50, and it was very evident that the past had caught up with me, and I gained like 80 pounds. I was tired, fatigued, worn out. Just picture Job in the Bible. That's where I was. I was really tired. And my boyfriend at the time, well, my husband now, he talked me into quitting. I worked for the state of California for 25 years. And he said, "You're not going to make it." And I didn't feel like I was going to make it. And I was eligible to retire at 50. Of course, most of us know that we don't retire at 50 because of the pay. The pay is really bad. And that was a sacrifice that I ended up making, was the financial end of it. The insurance part, I had 100% insurance, was yay. I was good to go with that. But the financial part, and it was real evident that if I even went another year working, I would have died. We knew that. I was struggling really hard.
What did you do for the state?
Oh, I did several times. I mean, wore many hats. I was a deputy director secretary for a while. I actually did accounting as well. Yeah, I did accounting for many years before that. And then towards the end, I ended up working for the deputy director as his secretary for the last few years of me being with the state of California. And just being there was really difficult as well. There was just a lot of things, which I won't cover now, more stuff that just piled up on my shoulders. And I consider myself a really strong person, but it's these things that the losses and the trauma and all that were piling up on me.
So that was a pivotal moment where you decided you had to make the change. Your
I had
health
to make
was in danger if you continued on the stressful path that you were on. And so you decided, with your husband's support, to quit early, to retire when you first had that opportunity. And then what you decide to do?
Oh, absolutely. Quite honestly, I spent about the next 3 years just healing and taking care of myself. 3 to 5 years just relaxing and taking care of myself and trying to decide what I was going to do. I journal a lot, and my husband kept telling me that I was a storyteller. And I was in this space of, okay, I'll try that. But you got to get, my past was catching up to me. I was insecure, not confident. Going through the next 10 years, this was my challenge. My challenge was learning to find out who I was, trying to figure out what I loved, what I didn't love. I didn't know that before 50. And so 50 actually brought me into a new realm of discovering who Susan was. And then writing, I would write, but I was looking for help in that area because of the confidence. And so in 2018, I decided to go to take a course. And this is really important. I took a course in Landmark, and I don't know if you know what Landmark is, but I ended up becoming an introduction leader and discovering that I had leadership skills. And I discovered that I could coach really well. And I didn't know that. And I discovered that. And it helped me quite a bit with my writing. And so finally, in 2021, my first book came out. So it was more than just a book. It was all the struggles, all the insecurities. This is where people would quit. I don't have what it takes. All those little things in the background. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say, just piled up. And I kept working through it and working through it. And so this book became more than just a book. It was my hero's journey. It was I could do this. I know I could do this. And it's like I'm a voice in the wilderness for other people that feel the same way, that have come to the point where life has just beat me up. And what do I do now? And I kept looking for clues, like a treasure map, just clues of who I was, what I liked, what inspired me. And then from there, the book came out.
That sounds like a typical experience most people have when they get to 50. They discover at that point they hit a wall. They've been doing what they've been told they need to do in order to be successful in life, and they're not getting anywhere, or they're just not feeling fulfilled. They feel their lives have no meaning, etc. And they can either hit that wall and settle back into a rut routine where all they do is doom scroll through news media and social media and things like that, or they can change their life and alter the trajectory and enjoy a better second half. So I'm glad that you found that early and you made the right decision and went down a different road.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
So what was your first book?
Oh, it's called Special Shoes for My Little Feet. And it's a legacy book.
Okay.
It's more about me than anything else. I realized that after I wrote the book. when I was writing the book, I discovered that family was my number one. It wasn't a regret, but the things that I did, I learned from my parents. And then I love my parents, but I taught my kids. And then going forward. And then, so these are the things that started to surface for me when I wrote the book, Special Shoes for My Little Feet.
And it's a children's book.
It is a children's book, and it's about a little boy that is told by his dad that they wear special shoes because of how important he is. And so he goes on a journey going, what makes me so important? And he ends up wearing special shoes, which is his grandparents and his parents' shoes. And it takes him through portals of the past. And it shows him, oh, mommy takes the day off. Mommy works so hard. She takes the day off just for me. And she just, on little things grandpa does and grandma does and what dad does. And then when it gets to dad, it shows what grandpa did for his dad. So it's the legacy that is created there. And
so by stepping into the shoes, are they stepping into the life of that person?
yeah,
Okay.
not the life of that person. When he steps into those shoes, it takes him into the past to show him how his mom feels about him.
Okay.
And she does for him.
Like a
And
mirror.
Like a mirror, yeah. And so when he put on mom's shoes, and then when he put on grandma's shoes, grandma always painted with him. And they did special things like that. So they did, every time he put on either it was dad's shoes or grandpa's shoes, it showed a piece of their lives with Gilbert. That's the main character, the little boy, with them. And so it just came to me. And I thought that was just a really cute story and a legacy book.
That is neat. But that wasn't your only book. You wrote another one that you just released a little while ago.
Yeah, Charlie Box. Now, Charlie Box is a very relatable story to everybody because it's about an empty box. Kids love, even cats. I've heard all that too. Cats love boxes, but kids will jump in the boxes and they'll imagine all kinds of different things. And when my granddaughter was 3 years old, and this is how it started, we had Christmas here at my house, and all the adults were talking, and they were just going on. It was really loud, and sat in front of my granddaughter was this huge box, and inside the box was a tricycle for her. But she didn't know it was all wrapped up, and she wasn't paying attention to anybody else except for that box. And I was watching her, and all the adults were talking, and she bent down and knocked on the box. She was like, hello, anybody in there? And she put her ear to the box and she goes, oh, I can hear you. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a great idea for a book.
Yes.
And from there, I just put it in the back shelf. And then from there, I switched the story from the child to the box being a delivery box. And he's going on deliveries all the time, and he's excited to see the happy faces until the adults take out their things and then toss him aside. And so he starts to feel insecure and unwanted or unloved. And he feels once the things are taken out of his box, he's good for nothing until he meets Sophie. And Sophie changes that for him.
That is an amazing story, and one that I think resonates with a lot of people over 50 who are functional in what they're doing, and then they reach that age where they're told they're no longer needed, and they are just basically tossed aside in the world. And that can be devastating if your identity is tied up into your career like that. And so this book is brilliant in how it shows how an empty box repurposes its life to lead a little girl through a world of imaginations.
Absolutely.
And that's what we as adults or seasoned citizens can do with our own families, is by sharing our stories with them, we are leading them through what we grew up in.
Absolutely.
That's neat. So that book is available right now?
Yes, on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. It's under Susan D. Powers. And the reason why I put my middle initial in there is because I found out there's a lot of Susan Powers there. So I identified it as Susan D. Powers. You can get it on Amazon. You can also get it on my website. I can lower the price when you go through my website.
Okay, good to note. So this whole idea of writing books and things like that, how does it tie into your becoming a coach?
Oh, okay, that's really interesting. So after I wrote the Special Shoes for My Little Feet, and that was in 2021, I remembered how I felt as a introduction leader and coaching other people. And as I was looking for what was next, not that I did not want to stop writing books, but there was a feeling that I needed to fill. There was something that I needed to fill. And I loved coaching. I really loved it in 2018. And so what I decided to do was go to school called Coachville and learn how to be a life coach. Being a life coach is quite different than being a leader in the leadership program at Landmark. Completely different format. They teach you the markers and ethics that you have to go by as a life coach. It's quite serious, and they are the highest standard. And so you learn how to become a coach.
Okay.
It was really fulfilling for me to do that.
What did the certification require?
Oh my gosh, it's 100 hours just to get my CVPCC, which is Coachville Professional Certified Coach. And I was in Coachville for 4 years, from 21 to 25. And the reason why it took me so long, it's as you go. So you get to do all the court. I could be here all day telling you all the requirements, but you have courses, and there's 4 of them, and they're 3 months long, each of them. So it's like a year long.
Take it at your own pace.
But you take it at your own pace. And the reason why it took me so long is because I had to go back to my writing and complete my book and get my book out, do book launch and all that. And that takes a while. That takes time too. So I was splitting my time between the two.
Now, the imprint on your book is Strong Footprints for Family Values. I understand that is significant for you. Can you tell us about this?
Yes. Again, when I was writing Special Shoes for My Little Feet, the imprint came out as Strong Footprints for Families. And I actually had that on my old website. And then I started writing Charlie Box. And the more I was writing Charlie Box, I kept thinking about the imprint, and I kept feeling like there was something missing. And what was missing was values, in the family values. And I am a big advocate for families. The nuclear family feels like it's falling apart and going away. And my love for families and parents being there for their children matters more than, it's like my signature. And it's right there with Strong Footprints for Family Values. It's about families. It's about staying together, working it out, loving your kids in a healthy way, right? And just being there for each other. Home is where we go when everything else falls apart. And when we go there, we tend to lean on each other as a family. And that's important in this world.
Okay. So you developed this whole idea, this whole logo, Strong Footprints for Family Values. What are the values that you think matter most that people our generation need to be conveying to the younger generation?
Oh my gosh, the values of work ethics, the values of it's living life to the fullest, showing the kids when I make a mistake, I own that mistake. Telling the truth, just the old values of being honest.
Be of service to others.
Just service to others. All those things, yes, service to others for sure. And those values seem to get lost. And I think that having a strong foundation like that to start your children out, they lean more on those as they get older because life is going to come at you one way or the other, and it's going to get hard at some point. Where are your kids going to lean to? That's the most important thing. What are they going to hang on to? Are they going to hang on to keep going? You can do it. What matters to me? Service to others, being honest, having a healthy relationship. All those things parents can provide for their kids. Those things matter. And that's what I'm hoping that my books, my coaching, all those things are relate that way.
That's really needed in today's society because I think as a general rule, kids are being overprotected. And so the adults are stepping in and preventing them from having any kind of hardship in their life at all. And it's the
Right.
hardships which will give them the character that they need and the strength to endure when they get out on their own. What kinds of things do you coach people to do?
I am a transformational coach. And so people go, what is that? And transformational coach is, say, it could be anything, but it's usually around wanting to do better for your life, to have more or better, something like you want to get a promotion, or you want just to have a better relationship with your wife and kids or yourself. And being a transformational coach, what I do is I help them get from point A to point Z, but we look at the stumbling blocks and maybe even blind spots of what's going on in their life to help them move to the next level.
A coach is so important for doing that because they are a neutral party. They can listen to you, but stop you and say, you're making an excuse, and challenge your thinking. And it's challenging the thinking that is really beneficial to coaching, I think.
And coaches mainly, what we do is we get our clients to think. We ask them tough questions, like you said. It's asking the questions that they probably haven't thought of or people aren't recommended to ask them those questions. Life coaches are, most of them, they'll say, what's that about? And tell me more about that. And so it gets them to think and create their lives in a powerful way because they get to do it. They get to say where they're going with it.
Are you doing your coaching in person or online?
I do it online. I do it in person if they're close enough. I could do it on the telephone as well. But the time it's on Zoom.
Okay.
Most of
Do you have your own coach?
I do.
No.
I have several. We've made many friends. That's the best thing about Coachville is I've made many coach friends that I can lean back on if I get stuck. I also have one from Landmark. I've known him for many years, and I go to him too often. So that's important. You have to have a coach for your coach. You
No.
have to.
Absolutely. Do you have any more books planned?
Oh, yes. Believe it or not, during the time between 2000, when I was 50, to 2020, I had written young adults YA. I've written a couple novels, but they're not published yet. I keep writing, and I have them. The next one I'd like to get out is a children's book called Super Pete, and it's about a ragged dog that doesn't think he's anything. So he becomes a superhero of the neighborhood, Super Pete. And I have a couple of my own life stories that I would like to get out. So I do have a few going on up in my head and here in my office.
Okay. What kind of challenges have you faced moving from working for state government into being self-employed as a coach and author?
Oh my goodness. What I've learned is, I don't know how to put this. It's the things that from the past that keep trying to tell you that you're not worthy or you're not good enough, especially the kind of past I've had. And it can be stifling. If you listen to it, it can freeze you up. And the thing that I've learned is that have a support system, have people around you, because to talk to coaches and other people, family members that you trust, to talk it out and not allow the voices or the feelings to conquer you, because or I couldn't even imagine if I would have listened, I wouldn't have those two precious books out. I would not be a coach. I would not be able to coach all these wonderful people. And I'm telling you, they've taught me just as much as I've taught them. They actually have given me a lot of my good coaching just by coaching them. I wouldn't have any of that. And I just feel like that is you just keep going. You do it, use tools, find your tools and keep going.
I have a couple of coaches myself, and they're working with me on my self-talk, which has been particularly negative in the last 10 to 15 years. And they're helping me reformat that. And
There you go.
Going to be doing remarkable things. What kind of rewards have you received from publishing your books and coaching clients?
Just basically sedatives. The rewards are, I would say, in capital letters, wins. WINS. In my past, I had hardly any, I didn't have any wins. I was struggling to survive. The wins are, I can't even begin to tell you. It just helps with your love, your self-esteem. You're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. And all these wins that come up, they inspire me. They inspire others. They're just the cherry on top of everything. You hear I get these beautiful books and I'm a coach now, but yet my self-esteem is great. I know who I am. It brings all of that to surface, the feeling of self-love, all of it.
Very good. If you have the opportunity to roll the clock back, is there anything you do differently?
As painful as all that was, I probably wouldn't. The only thing that, I know this sounds bad, I probably would have chose a different partner back then, but it all was not my husband now, my ex-husband, but even that brought me to where I am right now. Every lesson, every heartache, every wound brought me to who Susan is now today. Mm-hmm. And as painful as a lot of that was, I am enjoying the fruits of so much now. I am being blessed with, like I said, wins. I am being blessed with books and coaching, and I can't wait now. I'm like a little kid. I want to find out what's next, right? And I love my life, and I'm thankful for my past. That's because I'm at peace with it. So I'm thankful for it, and I'm glad where I am now.
How many children do you have?
I have 3 boys.
So even as painful as the marriage was, and how if you roll back and maybe not do that, then you wouldn't have these 3 wonderful human beings who have blessed their life.
Right, that's right.
What advice would you have for people over 50 who are struggling with identifying a purpose to their life, on how to go about pursuing it or finding things that give their life more meaning?
Yeah, I didn't know this until I started doing it. When I worked for the state for 25 years, don't get me wrong, I feel blessed to have had that job or had work, but it wasn't my life purpose. And I didn't know what my life purpose was until I retired at 50 and started doing another path, this path. And there's so many days that I feel like I'm not even working because I love what I do. And that's my advice. Find what you love to do and then do that for your either work or your passion, because it is so fulfilling. And it doesn't, what I'm doing here, it doesn't feel like work. It's not like I'm dreading to go to work. I can't wait to coach. I can't wait to write another book. And that would be my advice. Find what you love to do and do that.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. How can people connect with you if they'd like to learn more about you, the coaching services you provide, or just ask you a question?
So I have a website that you can connect with. It's sdpowersbooks.com. And I have a website and email, sdpowersbooks@gmail.com. And they can email me anytime they want. And
are you active on social media?
oh, everywhere. Yeah. I don't have you just look me up, Susan D. Powers, and or the books, and you can find me that way too.
What platforms are you most active on?
Probably Facebook.
Facebook, okay. LinkedIn?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm on LinkedIn too.
Super. Very good.
On TikTok, but I just started that. So probably Facebook or LinkedIn.
Okay.
Instagram, I'm really active on Instagram as well.
Super. Thank you very much for your time today, Susan. I enjoyed talking to you. You have a great story to tell about going in a completely different direction with your life, and one that brings fulfillment and life and joy to yours. So I wish you the best of luck going forward.
Well, thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate you having me on.
Susan Powers is the author of 2 children's books that deliver exceptional messages for families. Her first book, titled Special Shoes for My Little Feet, is a story that highlights the importance of family and the unique roles parents and grandparents can play in shaping a child's life. Her second book, Charlie Box, draws from her daughter's imagination and offers a moving reminder that even when we feel discarded or overlooked, we can still find new purpose and joy through connection and creativity. Beyond writing, Susan discovered her passion for coaching. As a certified transformational coach, she helps people identify blind spots, work through obstacles, and create lives filled with meaning. She explained that coaching is about asking the right questions, taking time for honest reflection, and empowering people to move forward with clarity. What gives Susan's life meaning and purpose today is helping families to embrace strong values, guiding individuals to step into their own stories, and creating books that can leave a lasting legacy for future generations. You can connect with Susan through her website at www.sdpowersbooks.com or find her on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram under the name Susan D. Powers. That's all for this week's show. If you'd like to start living a more meaningful life, I encourage you to download our free guide to finding purpose, which is available at www.forwardfrom50.com. I'll have another inspirational interview in the next episode of the Forward from 50 podcast. Thank you for listening, and if you really like this show, please consider leaving a review wherever you download the episodes.